Hello everybody, today we're finally going to get around to putting hair on this horse. I'm going to show you two methods to do this. One which is good if you're going to animate, and one which is good if you just love to play with hair. So let's get started. Choose your horse model. Go to edit mode. On the back here, select some faces, usually from about there to say, well, horses have manes that grow a little differently depending on horses who are weird. So what I've done is I've selected part of the one row of faces on each side of the seam line. I'm going to press screencast keys, go away, Alt E, extrude along normals. You don't have to make this really long because we are going to eventually use shape keys and armatures to customize length. But here I'm going to go from there to there. Scale along the x-axis, 0. There. Now if you're making Trojan horses, you can kind of leave it that way. The Mongols are fond of that too. Don't bring it all the way in. You can pull this one out a little bit. If you've ever clipped a horse's mane, it really is square in the front, which is kind of odd, but let's face it, horses are odd. Pull that up a scooch. Pull this, come on, this line down a scooch. And this, we have, these are overlapping. This is not great. So I am going to come up here, get that. Now, if you want to move it and keep it on the same track, as it were, Shift V, and that'll just move it without taking it off this line. Shift V, there you go. Oh, where's the one that's in the wrong place? I think it's this one. Shift V. No, wasn't that one. Ah, it's this one. Come here, you. This one. Shift V. Pull that up. And then this one. Every time I do this, my computer fan goes nuts. This one. And yeah, a lot of the times you can't see what it's doing. Just scroll out. Shift V. Come on. Go there. Grab that one. Pull that there. Grab this one. Pull it here. Why that one's way down there, I don't know. But it is, so hey. Okay, so we'll put it there. I'm not trying to make any kind of detail on this yet. The reason for that is because if you put detail in at this stage, you're going to be stuck with it for the rest of your life. Well, actually, there are ways you can fix it, but they're tedious and boring. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to vertices, UV maps. We already have one UV map, and that's horse body. I want to make another one, and I'm going to call this main. And now I'm going to go to face. I got all the sides. I've got all the sides. Shift. Shift, Control. Keep Shift down. Shift. Shift, Control. U, unwrap. And here is our unwrapped main. I am going to, first I'm going to get this out of the way. I am going to put the main detail in the GIMP, which I'll show you later on. So I'm turning these around just so I could make them a scooch bigger. Actually, no, let's not do it that way. How about we put this in the middle, and then we do S X -1, which flips it left to right. Rotate it. G to grab. Put it on top. Rotate it a little more. G to move it there. Rotate it just a scooch. Just a tiny little scooch. Select everything and make this bigger. Now we only have to do the tedious part once. Yay! And I am going to UV, export UV layout. I'm going to save PNG because I want the transparency, and I'm going to just type main. Now, I forgot an important part. You're going to need a few of these. Now see the way I put them? Come here. I have a couple that are really close to the bottom because the way mains grow is they grow up for a little bit and then they fall over unless you cut them. So I have some extra down here. These you don't really need, but if I go to, let's see. If you check it here, Blender has already put them in there, so just UV, export UV layout and export UV layout main or main. Now it's going to say, oh, it didn't complain that I already had one. Well, that's fine. Anyway, that's how you get your main in. To get the tail in, go to 3, hit Z a couple of times, face select, C, and select everything up to, everything up to there. Oh, and I'm going to make a new UV map, and call this one tail. First, yeah, let's not have everything selected. C, select this whole thing. U, unwrap. I should really find out what the heck these things are, but I'm not going to bother because I'm incredibly lazy. Actually, I shouldn't be doing this right at the moment anyway. But what I want to do now is there's a shrink fatten tool, which you get by saying Alt-S, and just move your mouse a little bit. And I want everything but that one, Alt-S. Now I want everything but that one, Alt-S. Well, and you can keep doing this. Oops. Shift Alt, take that out. Alt-S. Until you get more or less the main tail you want. Now, tails are very, very rarely wider than this. The only horse I've ever had who had a wider tail than this was an Appaloosa who had absolutely, positively nothing in her head. She was completely brain dead. You should have seen what she did when she first saw ostriches. That was fun. For somebody, not her. I'm going to go back here, grab this. Now, I'm going to use this proportional editing up here. Guys, where's my widget? And I'm just gonna make it wider this way. Maybe make it a little wider down here. Again, as with the main, don't do too much. You'll regret it. You want, at this stage, you just want plain. Where's my widget? I want my... Oh, gizmo. I don't know why I call it a gizmo when it's actually called a widget. Call it... Never mind. I should shut up now. Just keep doing this. And get it to where you want. That's probably good enough. And this, we can tweak a little bit more once we get to the armature stage. And that's really all there is. You're done. Now, for the second cool part, I'm gonna... Why is... Oh, that's why. Because for some reason, I turned animation on. That was stupid. I do that for now and then. I have no idea how, but I do it. Edit. Object mode. I'm gonna file, save as video horse with extruded mane. Because, yeah, I tried this before to make sure I knew what I was doing. Now, the part a lot of you are really gonna love, the particle system. Ta-da! So, file, open recent, that one. Now, the particle system is a little bit more advanced than anything you've been doing before. But like I said, if you want to if you love to curl hair and style hair and dye hair and thin it and thicken it and all that good stuff, the particle system is for you. You can find the particle system right here. I am going to add one. I'm going to call this main. And you see you have the choice of an emitter, which you use for smoke and fire and you know, flocks of birds and stuff. And hair. We want hair. Well, we don't want that much hair. You can, in fact, make an actual hair coat on your horse. But let me tell you something. Even I don't have a computer fast enough to deal with that, especially when animating. So I'm going to turn number down to 0 for now. Seed, I'm not worried about. Hair length, you're not going to have 4 meters. So I'm going to put 0.25. Segments is how many control segments you have along the individual hair. The more you have, the tighter the curls you can make and stuff. So I'm going to say 12. Children. For now, we're going to have none, and I'll show you why in a bit. Simple children, what you're doing with children is that you're putting in hairs and you're having Blender fill in the hairs between the hair for you. Simple means it just adds them right in the middle between any 2 hairs you've got. Interpolated means it sprinkles them more naturally. Strand shape, 0 is it's completely circular, and you can make it, what am I trying to say? You can make it more ellipsoid. I'm choosing to keep the tip closed, and this is just some stuff we can play with later. So now I am going to go to Particle Edit. What have we got here? We've got tools. We have a comb. We have a way to smooth it. We can add more hairs. We can change the length. We can puff it out, which is really good. We can cut it. And we can add weights to it, which I'm not going to get into here. Okay, I've set the count to 1 because I just want to put 1 hair. I'm going to use children. We don't need a whole lot. And the more you put down, the slower it gets. And this is 3 pixels for a radius. And I want to start here and go to there. I just heard the fans come on in my computer. So there we are. And there's our hair. Look at that. Now that we've got this, what should we do with it? Well, I'll tell you. We get out a comb. But, all right, be that way. So now we've got our hair down this way. But it's gone. That's where puff comes in. So you can puff it like this. And then you can go back to your comb. put it down like that and just grab these ends here and pull the ends down. Now don't worry about it looking all weird like this, angular and stuff. It's not going to stay that way. And you can pull it up. You can pull it up a little bit. Come on. You can turn your horse around. You can pull it down like that. I mean, honestly, you could just, if you're one of these people who's just crazy about hair, I have a cat like that, you could drive yourself nuts doing this. And, oops, no, let's not do that. Well, that's pony hair for you. Now, if you're going to look at this and say, no, it should be longer, you take this, yeah, it could be a little bit bigger. And you can make it longer. Oh, sorry, I added stuff. I didn't mean to add stuff. Smooth length. And look at that. You can make it a little longer there, and some there, and make that a little longer, and make that a little longer, and like that. And if you don't want hair coming out of the ears, you can cut it like that. Cut it off. You could make a bridle path. Isn't that fun? Now, if you want to see what it's going to look like, you need to get out of particle mode and into object mode. Why? I don't know. But there's your hair. And it has picked up the color of the body. If you want to change it, so let's go to materials and make a new color for mane. And here you see, come here, you see we have this principled Bsdf. I'm going to take that out, delete that, and I'm going to shift add shader, principled hair Bsdf. Now I've never used principled hair Bsdf, so I'm not real sure what it does. But, you know, it's not so bad. So let's go back to our particle system and tell it I want mane. Ooh, look at that. So, if we go to render, that's what we have. Now, if you tool around the internet for any length of time, you will find gazillions of YouTube videos that tell you how to make braids and how to make ponytails and all this kind of stuff. You could do this for the mane, you do the same thing for the tail, and if you really want, you can do the same thing for feather on the legs. And if you want to see this guy all rendered and beautiful, you type render, render image. And here's our main render. This is not a really high resolution render. I will get to that when I'm doing some actual real stuff. But this will give you an idea of what you can do.